meeting.
All right, I am still recording the meeting, just FYI, folks. So if you've got other stuff going on in the background, please do mute yourself. Urshad, it looks like you're lit up like you're wanting to say something. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. You can unmute yourself. But anyway, here's I've got the mood board pictures basically that that Nick and Ivan, who's the artist, are sort of working off of for putting a mural proposal together. The dollar amount was $14,000, which I think this group has in budget because we budgeted for murals last year and we didn't do any, and we budgeted for murals this year and we still haven't done any. So I think we've got budget that we could pull from for this if folks want to move forward. It could be a really neat idea because it's such a big blank wall on Devon right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would rather have something a little more abstract.
I know, yeah.
But I'm not gonna, I mean, if it'll get done, I'd rather it just be done. But I'd rather have something a little more artistic instead of
too landscape heavy.
Yeah.
Like postcard pictures.
Right.
And I'm happy to share that feedback with Nick and them next time we talk. Either way, like this will probably return on next month's agenda, just because I got it too late and the agenda had already gone out. But I did want to sort of share where we're at with that. We haven't forgotten it. Yeah, for sure. And I haven't forgotten. So you can go back to the agenda right quick. Next item that does need a vote is approval of the minutes from July. Does somebody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
Cool. All right, all in favor? Raise your hand or say aye. Unmute yourself, maybe.
Aye.
Aye. Sanita, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next up is the event sponsorship for Mandala Arts. Let me get your slides up. Yeah, if you want to come over to the table. I know. Move up for you there. Yeah, so you're unmuted. Pranita, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then folks, can people see the slide deck that I just brought up? I know the people in the room can, but that works too, maybe. Oh, might be too far away. All right, this is take it away.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pranita Nair, and I am the founding artistic director of Mandala South Asian Performing Arts. I'm sharing a proposal with you about Mandala's expansion onto the Devon Street to bring performing arts originating in the South Asian classical and contemporary traditions in Devon. My own background, I've been in the nonprofit industry for the last 30 years. I founded Mandala 7 years ago. And my responsibility is all the fundraising efforts, relationships with donors, and I am executing the marketing plans as well as making community connections for the organization. Mandala as an ensemble has performed from New York Lincoln Center to Asian Art Museum in San Francisco, in Chicago. This year we are presenting at the Harris Theater in October, but as the team, I represent the team, the board of directors. Our heart is to expand where we think our community first started its immigrant process in Illinois, which was on Devon Street. And we are eager to bring the performing arts culture and the vibrancy of the arts back to Devon Street. Our process started about 4 years ago when we started senior movement dance programs at the Indo-American Center, which has consistently stayed for the last 4 years. To 2017, we started it. So yeah, we survived through the pandemic doing it. And in this process, we realized the issues that are facing Devon, that while on surface, sometimes it looks homogeneous, but it's still very split on various levels. They gather over some things and they differ over some things. They speak, when it comes to the arts, the drumming, the things, sorry, I'm losing it. They work with drumming, they work with dancing, they love Bollywood, they will gather over it, but when it comes back to their national politics, going back to their immigrant countries, they get split. And we were very heartened by the fact that they all meet over dance and music. So for the last 4 years, we've also been hosting an emerging artist festival in Chicago. And just this past year, it was held, a part of it was held on Devon Street. The musicians and dancers came together and they took over the streets of Devon at Tallman and Devon. And we had like a 4-hour festival. We approximately had 100 people attend every hour of the festival. We'd love to continue that energy of bringing back the cultural vitality over here. And our programs involve intergenerational, from senior citizens, forgive my language, I'm one of those, from senior participants to youth who are coming for the drumming lesson. And our hope is to create an intergenerational program that keeps everybody together. A program design, wait, I have to move on. So a program design started, I keep saying this, senior movement program. We started with drumming for the youth. We are adding dance this fall, and our ensemble comes to rehearse in the space. Even though they're performing at Harris, they're rehearsing over here. And then we are going on to do quarterly programs, which to invite people to gather over programs such as a musical, a theater production. We're going to keep it low cost or no cost at all, just so that people start gathering over it. And then annually, again, we are planning on our Emerging Artist Festival next year, again, to be held on Devon. This year we had it at the Chicago Indian Boundary Park. It was a 3-day festival, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the turnout was amazing. People from beyond Devon were gathering over it. So I've shared this proposal with Cindy to share with all of you. Our unique value proposition is, as I mentioned, have an intergenerational programming, create a platform for pairing emerging artists coming out of the community over here with international artists that we work with, as well as programs that reflect the desires of the community over here. Our advantage in doing this, that we're the only South Asian arts organization in Chicagoland area doing grassroots work in the community, as well as the high award-winning artists who are doing high-end programming on the other end. Our associate artistic director lives in the Devon community of Glenwood and Granville. So she's right here. We provide accessible, affordable programming for all. We already have partnerships with the Chicago Park District. I know we've been working with the Rogers Park Business Alliance in the past for other programming. With the Chicago Public Library, we use the space as Indo-American Center as the large open space to do the work. Mafat Patel from Patel Brothers has offered us a space to operate our office out of his space. So we are here to stay. Most of our funding is coming 70% from donations, 10% corporate support. We have an earned income of 10%. And so what I'm seeking from you is a funding to support some of the programming, a quarterly programming that we're going to be doing at Indo-American Center. It's our musicals, it's our theatrical productions, it's our dance and music to support those.
Is there a specific dollar amount that you're requesting, and do you have dates yet for the quarterly events?
Yeah, so November, first weekend in November is going to be our first event at Indo-American Center. It's targeting a love story between empty nesters whose children have left home, and how do they get back into it. We're planning on a musical in February. We're planning on a musical in February, and then it takes us into a Mandala Maker Festival, which is already, it's usually in June. So, and we wait for the outdoors to use, make it an outdoor festival. So using the time and space.
Sitting on Devon at the Indo-American Center, these are taking place.
The festival was outdoors on Tallman and Devon.
Right. That was the summer one.
The June and summer one. Otherwise, if we have to be indoors.
So 3 events per year, is that what we're talking about right here?
Yeah, the big events, but consistently we have classes and our free programming for the seniors, which has been consistent for 4 years.
And so are you looking for a specific, like, dollar amount, like for each event, or is it like one thing, like annual kind of thing, or?
Well, we'd be happy with $2,500 per event.
Okay.
We do get funding from Department of Cultural Affairs for music festivals, so that's how we were able
Would
to
you
do it.
consider more events if the funding were there?
Absolutely, because the interest is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you recognize your sponsors?
Social media, online banners. We do have a PR person, a media consultant who sends press releases out for newspapers, flyering, direct flyering to homes and businesses.
Folks on the Zoom, anyone else have any questions or want to make a motion or anything?
Can I check your Instagram portfolio where you guys be advertising the sponsors? How many visitors you guys get on the social media, on your website and everything?
I know more again with Facebook, and for Facebook, I can confidently say we have 2,000 people, followers as well as friends in that range on Facebook. Instagram, I would say about 800. And Instagram, I'm taking a guess. Facebook, I'm confident.
And the sponsorship amount that you're looking for, how much per event?
2,500 to cover the cost of the artists, the travel, the marketing, insurances, licensing. Indo-American gives us the space for free. That's why we're there.
I've never been in there. How was that space? Do you like it there? Is it good?
We like the
Convenient?
space because it's big, large, open space. They have not free, paid parking on the street. It works well for
It
us.
works out.
Yeah.
How many people normally attend one of your events?
I'm sorry?
How many attendees do you normally have at one of these events?
Up to 100. So when we had our Mandala Maker Festival event, it was a 3-day event, 5 hours each. We approximately had 100 people every hour. So
So total audience were 500.
yeah,
Times
per day.
per day? Is this because of the indoor that you're getting 100 people per hour only, or?
I think it's partly because it's indoor and partly because we need more funding for marketing, for reaching the people directly. Without the marketing funds, it's very hard to attract people.
Where are these people coming from, and what is the capacity of Indo-American Center?
I would say it can take about 250 seated. Where are these people coming from? Thus so far, they are coming from our already what we have a senior program going on there and a youth program. So those families tend to come back for our larger programs. So that was our first hook to get into the space, is offering these programs for the retired who have a lot of time on their hand, and they come and sing and dance with us and be happy.
The SSA, our goal is to bring people to Devon for business. So you need to tell us how you're going to benefit us by bringing these people out, and what type of advertising, what will it bring for us on the table to bring business to Devon?
Absolutely. So that's the whole agenda, is to revitalize Devon. So if somebody's coming to take a class, they're going to come and eat on Devon, they're going to shop on Devon, maybe they will, whether it's shopping for groceries or clothing, then it becomes a pattern. Then they keep coming again and again. And when we present quality programs, then more people are attracted. So that's how it would revitalize the businesses on Devon.
How soon are you looking for a decision from us? We have to vote on this. So.
Today.
You can, if somebody wants to make a motion. you can
Make
vote
a
on it
motion
today.
today,
We do have a quorum now,
It's like-
but that would require somebody making a motion to
I
approve
mean,
something.
don't we want to discuss this offline and then come back? But because she has 3 different events that she's listed, so you want to sponsor each, sponsor all. I think there's room for discussion here.
Of course, and yeah, we typically need 6 weeks, minimum of 6 weeks to get our marketing machinery going. We can't do it 2 weeks and deliver, what you're asking of us.
So if we let you know by next month, September meeting, you should be fine, correct?
Yeah, that'll give us, depends when in September. Yeah, that would give us 2 months. If you're doing mid-September, it's all of October, 2 weeks in September.
Cindy, can we do that just so we have more time to discuss and look into if anybody else has any questions?
Yeah, I'm happy to keep this on the agenda for the September meeting. If folks would prefer to have some more discussion on it.
Yeah, and if you can email us links to the Facebook, Instagram, and stuff, so everybody can just look at that, I would appreciate that.
Yes, we have to change we are moving in with air tours space. So yes, we have.
Also, if you can share the specific events, the details about the events too.
Absolutely. Would you prefer, Cindy, may I share an email with you about the
Yeah,
events
that would be great.
I can do that. I'm happy to answer any questions around marketing, finance, budgets, how we operate, what's going on, what else we have.
Would you be open to combining this, like say you had an event in November, this cultural event, combining it with some other Devon Avenue oriented event? Like something
Absolutely.
where it's where it kind of makes it a little bigger and it's just a part of the bigger event?
We don't have, because the larger the event, I mean, not the larger the collaboration,
Yeah.
the more
of course.
people
I
benefit
suppose it's
from
a silly question. Just thinking in mind of how to make your event bigger, then we'll make something we do bigger as well. So,
Yeah, and then we all get bigger.
right, there you go.
More people.
Mhm.
I find that at a bar all the time. If I combine somebody's having a birthday party. I get a game.
Yeah.
I think that's a
I agree with that too. That's why I want to discuss it more. I think we can add something from the SSA and create a nice big event.
Yeah,
Be delighted to.
great. Yeah, because I know we had talked at one point too about like maybe trying to work together on, doing some outdoor film screenings or something, maybe try to advance that too, particularly like, well, we do still have sort of nice weather.
And today you mentioned your 50th anniversary. It's the 75th anniversary of both India and Pakistan independence,
That's right.
because they both got independent.
That's-
So I know both governments are eager to share their films, documentaries, provide programming, So, they are looking for outlets.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If I think we'd be really excited
Yeah.
to work with you and either or both consulate,
Sure.
if they're looking
Happy
to sponsor.
facilitate.
Right. Any
I'll have
other?
a separate conversation
Yeah.
about you with the film festival. that you're
Yes,
talking about,
yeah,
so
that would
I
be
will
great.
pick up the phone and-
Very cool. All right. Yeah. If you want to take off, yeah, it sounds like we're gonna hold this on until the September agenda. So I'll make sure that you get that that meeting invite as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, videos of what we've done. how
Yeah,
it's going.
And I'll share this slide deck around as well.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming out. Go back to the agenda. All right. All right. So the next item on here is SSA service provider agreement. We were supposed to do this with budget and I didn't realize it because there's not an actual like agreement in writing yet that I can pass around, but basically it's just a up or down vote as to whether this particular SSA commission wants to continue having RPBA as the service provider for the SSA. So that's what this agenda item is. If it makes more sense to hold this till the end, we can maybe do that. Because I do have a couple of other updates and things to share with folks. How, just let me know.
I don't know how
if
long
you-
I can stay on, Cindy, so maybe just to get it over with.
Okay, yeah, so service provider agreement is just, up or down vote on staying with RPBA. Somebody would need to make a motion on that.
Motion.
Somebody make a motion. We don't have anybody else.
Okay, I'm making a motion. Can you hear me?
Oh, me too.
Okay, I make a motion that we stay with RPBA.
Yep.
I second it.
All in favor?
Yeah. Aye.
Any
Aye.
nays?
Aye, Maura.
Abstained?
Thanks.
Aye.
Okay, Cindy, we're done.
All right, thank you, everybody. All right, next up, I put an item on here for tree pit maintenance and plantings. I know this is we've seen this one before. It's come up a few times last year. We did work with CDOT to put more lava rocks in some of the side street tree pits. I think it's helped some, but I am still continuing to get complaints from people about tree pit weeds and litter. So wanted to come back to the group and ask if there would be, interest in investigating putting some additional perennial plants in the tree pits alongside the trees in an effort to kind of crowd out the weeds. Some of the tree pits on side streets, particularly east of Western, sort of already have this where, there's already, perennial plants like hydrangea bushes and things like that in some of those larger tree pits. So just wanted to sort of take everyone's temperature as to whether we want to maybe look at beefing up the landscape budget again to kind of provide for this. Bear in mind, we are switching landscape vendors next year because of the issues that we've had with Brightview. So that's sort of where things stand currently. But because that contract hasn't started yet, now would be the time for getting additional estimates as to adding plants next year.
What are you asking?
Do you want us to expand and add plants to these tree pits?
The planters look better too. I think they just kind of filled in better.
Right, it needs to grow,
It just
right?
needs to
When they
grow.
put them in there, they are like this little,
Yeah, but also they looked like scraps, like it
Yeah.
was, it
But
wasn't
then
just that.
then they bloomed another, they're hanging, they're crawling, they're
Yeah,
growing.
but I think some of them also, they might have added a few. Well, they look like it by me, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
The tree pits over, Urshad, the tree pits over by you are horrendous.
He's on, but he's muted.
Yeah, I know,
There
but I think our minor spittoons, they're not really tree pits.
Yeah, but if we get some hostas and some daylilies and some stuff in there that even like native grasses.
I
or
think you should have
something.
the new landscape vendor look at it, whoever we take, and
Yes.
put it on them, because if we hire somebody in between, it's just gonna be something in between.
Yeah. We're agreeing with you. We will take a walk with them and show them what we're talking about.
Yeah, and that
That
is
would be the
something
best bet,
that,
then we can hold somebody accountable.
yeah, because I am going to be doing site visit walkthroughs for all of the SSAs with our new contractor at some point this fall before we get into the 2022 season. All right. Any other thoughts on landscaping or tree pits before we move on? All right, seeing none, light pole decorations update. So really good news on the lights. They finally arrived from China and Scott is planning to start installing them this week.
Yay!
Very
Nice.
welcome news. It's been over a year that we've been waiting for the stuff to arrive that we ordered. So
We're actually ahead of the season.
I know it's going to be pretty great. So I think everyone, certainly I am excited to finally see that project moving forward because it was approved and paid for last year. And that's how long that we've been waiting due to all the supply chain problems that they've been encountered. So, so we're really, really pleased. Welcome news. If you see Scott and his team out putting stuff up, give them a wave and expect to see some lights here in the next couple of weeks. As far as the metal banners, I did have a conversation with Ellen Schmidt at CDOT about the metal banners. They're pretty expensive. $10,000 a piece is not unheard of for those.
$10,000 a piece?
Sorry?
$10,000 a piece?
Right, because
Yeah.
they have to be
Can we use
custom
our own
fabricated.
vendor, Cindy, on those?
No, they have to go through CDOT and their vendors because it's city infrastructure and insurance and all. So unfortunately, yeah, that is the holdup. And typically they only get done as part of like a larger streetscape project, but that doesn't exclude us from doing it, even though like streetscape's already been done on Devon. But it just, just to manage expectations, it's a time consuming process and a fairly expensive one just because of the expense that goes into it on their end for having to use their particular contractors. And then you also have to go through them for design. So CDOT has sort of their own like in-house design team and we worked with them too on the crosswalks that were just installed on Clark Street and around Ravenswood near the metro station. But it can be done, but it is not cheap and it takes time. I mean, this SSA is in a bit of a better financial position than most because, you all are historically have been like pretty great stewards of resources So, you know, it's not impossible, and we're in a better position to do it than a lot of SSAs would be. But it's still a pretty hefty outlay. And we would probably have to, still wouldn't be able to do every single pole, because not every single pole is the correct size to have the, you know, they're heavy, they're metal.
$10,000 is a lot for one sign is a lot.
Yeah, it is quite a bit. And that's for manufacturing and installation.
Can we check with the other SSAs that have them, what they paid for them and who they use? I'm really surprised it'd be that expensive.
I think most of them Urshot are done when they do the streetscape. So I don't think the SSAs pay for them. We can ask around and see if anybody has, any SSA has done it post streetscape. But you
Or
know,
if they
like
got
when we
damaged, if they replaced them.
like
I
we
mean, maybe
got,
that
we
would give us
got,
an idea.
we did the on Devon ones. That was all part of the cost of the streetscape, the round ones.
The round signs.
Yeah, when we did those round signs, I mean, we didn't do them. They were part of the streetscape. They were part of the plan, and they just were installed when the light poles were put in. Which is what I think happens in most areas. I don't know of any SSA that's done their own outside of a streetscape, but we can ask.
Yeah.
Maureen Martino is where I would go, Cindy. I wonder if she's done them.
I don't recall seeing any.
There are some.
They do, but I think they were
Yeah,
done street, the green ones, right?
There one in the Saguenay too, I believe. These guys have
Yeah.
I think
another
it's
sign.
Square has them, but I know those are done as part of their streetscape. Lakeview has them.
Yeah, I know where you're talking about, like around Irving or Pulaski. I have a
Yeah,
friend that lives over there.
yeah.
And it takes 2 seconds to go on and then weeks and weeks and
I
weeks
was
to come
noticing
off.
that. I was noticing
Yeah.
that.
All right. Any other questions or anything about light pole decorations?
Nothing from my side. I just want to see what kind of lights and how they're gonna be up and how they're gonna look.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were here when, like, pre-tornado, which was a year or two ago, that I think sort of was the death knell of the lights that we had. But basically, each of the light poles, the short ones, not the ones that sort of hang over the street, gets wrapped in like this LED lighting, like rope light. That's
Got it.
programmable and can change colors and can have, like, you know, the lights can move or blank or do different stuff. So we can, you know, have them reprogrammed a couple times a year to be like different colors for different seasons and stuff like that.
Got it.
So yeah.
When did you say those were going to be installed?
So that should be starting within the next week or two.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's, you know, since it's just the poles, he doesn't have to get up on trees. It's kind of minimal equipment. So there shouldn't be an impact to parking. But we can let the 24th district know. Yeah, we are meeting with them Wednesday. I will mention that. All right. If there's nothing else on light pole decorations, I did just want to share some updates on tuk-tuks. So I think artists have them. They're being decorated currently. I have at least one artist messaged me this morning to tell me that she's done and ready for it to be picked up. And then on our end, Sandy and I are working on securing permits. They sent us back a bunch of notes saying that they want updated paperwork. So we're trying to get further detail from BACP and or CDOT as to what specifically, because they just send us automated messages saying, like, we need extra documents from you. And I'm like, what extra documents? Like, I sent you everything we have. So we're working our way through that process. The artists are working We still don't have a date yet for the unveiling because that's going to depend on permits, but we are working on it. And yeah, I think we're all really excited to get them out there and start promoting it. Any other questions?
Are we planning any summer outdoor events before the summer gets ends?
So we don't have anything on the calendar currently. We've been kind of trying to get the tuk-tuk thing, you know, done and off the ground. And, you know, the plan has always been to include on that like unveiling weekend, to have the tuk-tuk company that does the tuk-tuk rides be on Devon in conjunction with that. So that's the only event that we're actively like planning because we wanted to get it done first before we take on another thing. But we had talked also with this group and with Big Buzz about trying to do a samosa tour, samosa stroll, similar to what we do on Clark Street with the taco crawl. Since that's something that we sort of have a playbook for, I don't think it'll take as long than as tuk-tuks has, just because it's the first time that we're doing it and there's not really, you know, I think once we do stuff like this again, like we'll have more of a playbook and a, you know, estimated timeline for how long things are going to be. But if we do want to still move forward on samosa stroll, like we probably can still do that into September and October.
Sounds good. One quick question: is the West Warren Park comes under the SSA?
Warren Park is actually just outside of the SSA. So the SSA boundary ends at Arthur and on going north, and then Granville going south. So Warren Park, unfortunately, is just outside the boundary.
Oh, because I was actually thinking if we can organize some sports events. Like recently, I was working with the Niles Park District and the Barrington ones. They were having tennis championships. So I thought I liked the idea to have this kind of events within our SSA as well.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, there's an argument to be made for SSA sponsorship of events that are happening in Warren Park or at the library. You know, at the last meeting, we approved sponsorship for the photography exhibition that JNDC is doing at the library, even though it's, again, too far north because it's on Pratt. But it is the library for this district, and most of the pictures that they're featuring are pictures of historic Devon buildings.
Yeah.
So we said, yeah, like that's fine. Ultimately, the discretion, you know, sits with members of this commission as to what you want to vote to approve funding for. And
But
yeah, I mean, I definitely see that, you know, if you've got tennis or cricket or ice skating events and programming going on at Warren Park, it can bring people to
Sports idea.
because Devon is full of cricket. Like if we can
Yeah.
organize like an event on the Warren Park for the cricket, it's not only like a SSA gonna sponsor. Like we can easily get a lot of sponsors from the businesses.
Yeah.
Like a whole event where we can do like a food cards, families to come to watch the cricket match. And same thing we can do with the basketball. I believe they have a basketball court and we have a tennis court over there too. Like if we do something related to the sports, that's actually better for the youth and also for the business, I believe, since we have that kind of market who really are into tennis and cricket and basketball, like before we get to the end of the summer.
Yeah.
There's a huge pickleball group over there also.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
How about we get a bunch of ping pong tables and put them on Devon Avenue and have ping pong competition?
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Like in the middle of the street or?
Well,
on the
no, just on
sidewalk
the
or
corners, you know, where we have,
Corner.
you know.
I mean, renting the bank out or something, or talking Devon
Oh,
Bank
maybe.
or Republic Bank.
Fun, ping pong. Didn't the city?
Maybe
do
in the
something
garage
like that?
space at Republic.
That would draw a lot of people.
Mhm. Maybe we can organize that with the Chamber of Commerce.
Mm.
I mean, maybe plan it for October so we have enough time to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also like, in my mind, you know where my mind goes, everybody, is to the logistics of organizing something like that. When we do the movies, they're pretty much turnkey, right? You just rent a movie, you make all the posters and all that kind of stuff. And if we did some sort of a tournament, we have to have somebody there. We have to have registration. we have to
registration,
have
refs.
who's gonna, right,
Well, here,
renting the tables.
May-
I mean,
may I-
not saying it's not a good idea. I'm just
may I
thinking.
suggest something? But it doesn't have to be a tournament either. You could just put tables out so people can play. It doesn't even have
Right.
to be.
Yeah,
tournament.
maybe with the movies, do like a carnival type, do ping pong tables or whatever else anybody wants. We can find the space.
Or even
Yeah.
better, how about instruments? Like get a bunch of cheap pianos and put them around.
I've got one in my house. I wanna get rid of it.
There you go.
We did that on the Evanston side of Howard Street when I was working up there. We just sort of had a piano that rolled around, and I don't want, I think it eventually got rained on or set on fire. I don't fully recall its ultimate fate,
But
but
that's perfect. It just like slowly erodes and goes away.
yeah. But you know, who cleans it up at that point?
To me, like tournaments are a good idea. So it will bring the people from the different suburbs and different districts as well. And in terms of logistics and all that, like if we can like create a small team, like I'm okay to like be a part of it, to be in the logistic, to take care of the things that I would feel will bring more people and will create more interest towards the Devon when we do the tournaments like that.
We can talk to Big Buzz. We can
Yeah.
hire somebody to do the logistics of it.
Like we can have a tournament between the different SSAs.
If you're doing ping pong though, you want to do it when it's not windy.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be chasing the balls all over the place?
So just make a list of ideas, and then we can start brainstorming and figure out if you can't do it this year, at least we can do it next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any kids park nearby on within this SSA? Like,
Do we have
I
any
heard
what? Sorry.
the parks for the kids, like you know the park in Lincolnwood, right by the village
Yeah,
office.
the pros
Mhm.
will park.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
what
yeah.
Maura was talking about, something like this, right?
Do we have something like that
Yeah.
in our neighborhood?
No, we have
Yeah, I
empty
mean-
lots. We don't have any park.
Yeah. No playgrounds directly on Devon.
Lots.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to have one.
Yeah, or even if it's just like a 1-day pop-up thing, like if we, you know, did something with like a bounce house or like you see at block parties.
Even the block parties, yeah. I would still love to have that street food event on Devon.
Hmm.
But you guys are saying it's not feasible to close the street for a day or something like that, but that would be an awesome to bring a lot of people from other suburbs and other divisions to visit Devon just for the food street. Like people can have like a small stalls, booth for the henna tattoos, for food. Like,
Yeah, and
like a
and
street event.
I think that's sort of what we were trying to get at with when we were talking about the samosa stroll idea, is that, you know, we want to, you know, organize something and promote something that can, you know, be promoted on, you know, the news and in the media, that'll draw new customers to the area to sample and try stuff from all the different restaurants like that are here. When we've done it on Clark Street around tacos as a theme, it's been really popular and really successful, and it benefits the restaurants that are already here and have a brick and mortar presence.
Yeah.
I think the fear is that if we bring in a bunch of food trucks like that, you know, that might upset a lot of the restaurants.
No,
But yeah.
the food street, the food trucks and all that gonna be from these restaurants on Devon only. And like
Yeah.
if we can close the street from, let's say, from Western to Maplewood, something like that, like few blocks, like if it's possible, I don't know.
Did anybody attend the Chamber of Commerce Dance Dine on Devon event?
No.
So they
I was
just
there,
closed,
I stepped in.
they just closed the side street?
Mhm.
Yeah, the police aren't gonna close Devon down.
Yeah, police aren't gonna, but I don't think what they did was very well attended. So I
Yeah.
was just wondering, I was there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was,
yeah, and because they got funding through DCASE when they were doing grant programming funding. I'll get from the bathroom in a minute. You know, and that's something that, you know, I don't know that they're going to offer that particular grant again. When they do, it typically is around arts programming rather than food, and that's why they were doing music and dance sort of as part of it. But I think, you know, the food tour, food crawl kind of ideas, you know, we have experience doing them. We know they bring people out. And it's not going to be as big of, it's not as heavy a lift to put together because it's something that we've done.
American Cultural Center.
Yeah. Or have that be the check-in.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
And Deborah, how many people were there? Because you were there for the ribbon cutting, right? Of the Dine Dance on Devon thing?
Yes, I know well, I wasn't there on Saturday, but Saturday, I think it rained, so the weather was really bad.
Yeah, I was
And,
there on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and I was only there for a little while on Sunday. There weren't a lot of people there when I was there. I think the afternoon they said was better. They had that like robot person on the street.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
with the
yeah.
lit up thing, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I have to leave. I have to go to another event. So everybody have a good night. I will.
Thanks for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I was at the event too. I was on Saturday. It was a little blustery out. And it was yeah, kind of sparsely attended. I don't know. I feel like
It was really well advertised, I thought. I saw it everywhere.
the whole thing kind of missed the mark somehow. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Right. So what is it that they didn't do that we should do, or vice versa,
the music
right?
was
You know?
way too loud and tinny, for one thing. It was just, you know, you want that, if you're gonna have dance music, you gotta have bass, and it's gotta be lower, you know, and then it was really ear-piercingly loud, and I don't know what it is. They did the event at the bar. They had the DJ there, and it was just screechingly loud.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let her have the DJ again. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I have pool players in the back, like, you know.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
happening?
It was just
Yeah.
too loud.
Oh, man.
It was intrusive, you know, and it didn't feel, I don't know. I'm not sure how else to put it.
Yeah, we need to make sure that whatever we do brings, like, right, if our goal is to bring people to Devon, what is it that we're not doing, that we should be doing, or whatever?
And why isn't more like the culturally appropriate music? That would be, I think, more attractive to people.
Well, I know they're doing, so the On Devon, the Dine Dance on Devon is happening again. It's happening like 6 times, I think, in the next, like, every quarter. I think they're doing it every 2 months.
I think there were 2 this summer, 2 next summer, and 2 this, because it's the 3-year grant that we got for Al Fresco.
So just 2?
I think it's just 2 per summer.
But they only did 1, right? So they're doing-
They were supposed to do another one in August, but she never sent me a date for it.
Where exactly it
August
happened?
now, so I don't know if it's happening.
Where exactly they organize this event?
So it's the Westridge Chamber that puts it on. So they did 1 weekend in June, and then they were supposed to be doing another weekend toward the end of the summer at a different intersection. So this last one was Devon and Talman, and I'm trying to find or remember what intersection they were planning to do next. Because she sent it to me a while ago, but at that point they hadn't nailed down a specific date for the second one.
These guys, just get like 500 of those and just line them on Avenue and have different artists painting different colors. That would look cool.
We're doing tuk-tuks instead of that,
Yeah.
and putting them on Devon and
Just throw the kitchen sink at this thing.
Yeah, so originally it was planned for July 30th and 31st, but then they canceled it, and I don't know if it ever was rescheduled.
Also, part of the problem of that event is the list of menu, the QR code thing with restaurants from all over West Ridge.
Yeah,
And that felt a little, if you had the one restaurant right there, or 2 or 3 there right next door that served you, that would have made way more sense.
then having it be like the whole, yeah.
Right? Why would you do that?
No.
I mean, they're West Ridge
They're the
Chamber
West Ridge
though.
Chamber, right? But yeah, they don't have anything else posted for moving
Yeah.
forward. They just have the one that,
Their original date was 7:30 to 7:31, but then they canceled it and said they were going to reschedule, but I haven't seen anything about a new date.
It would make more sense if they had multiple events, but in different parts of the of West Ridge.
Well, and that was,
So that,
yeah,
that was the intention.
the grant was a corridor.
yeah, corridor
Oh, for
activation.
Just Devon.
For just
Well, so
Devon.
that's what they put in for, was just Devon.
Okay.
And because you can't close Devon, it was just like, we're going to do these pop-up events on side streets.
Right on the corners.
But yeah, they had one, and they were supposed to have a second one, but it hasn't come to pass yet, and I
And
don't know
there's-
if it's been rescheduled.
And there's nothing on the calendar.
Yeah.
I just put in for today through the middle of October and submit. There's nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, I mean, one or both of us can reach out to Larissa and see what's happening with it, but because it would be helpful, like if they are doing it at some point
I
this
think it's
month or
a-
next, I would like to help promote it.
Yes, and I think it's a great idea. I just think it needs to be fleshed out a little more. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to be inclusive of the whole of West Ridge, and I think it made it more messy. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't have as clear of an identity versus like if it's Devon specific and you just have the Devon corridor restaurants and businesses that are part of it.
Music playing there, you'd have everybody in the neighborhood. That's what I would.
Yeah, and you know, I obviously, you know, we weren't part of organizing that.
No,
You
we
know,
had some like weirdo jazz fusion band
Yeah.
play, and like who's in?
Yeah. You know, I
Sorry,
don't know
sorry,
how
Melissa, I love you to death.
go about, you know, securing talent and all of that. Because, you know, we've had candidly similar conversations around, you know, Chalk Howard Street. You know, people want to see, you know, more artists of color, more performers of color. And we put out the call, like, that's not always like who responds. So we have to like be really,
Take what you can get.
yeah, you know, but we do try to be targeted about, you know, who we're reaching out to and trying to encourage to sign up. Right. I mean, it would be lovely if you could just say like, hey, here's our event that we're doing, please sign up, and people would do it. That's not always how it goes. That's been, I think, a big lesson with the Tuk Tuk project too. So, but, you know, back to, you know, Ramiz, back to your point, you know, I think a food festival of some sort, whether it's a tour or a festival, Samosa Crawl, Sandy's saying, and I agree. I think that would be a big draw and would help bring new customers to our existing businesses. Because I think that's our real goal.
If we do on Devon, it will definitely gonna attract a lot of people. 100% gonna attract a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people already know Devon, and plus the
Mhm.
food street event on Devon, and plus
Yeah.
if we can have like a smaller stage with the Bollywood songs and all that going on, it's gonna get crowded 100% sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've talked about that internally. We've talked about it with Big Buzz. Samosa stroll and kebab crawl. I like it. Mhm.
Like if
But-
we can like, if we don't have to like close it for a whole day, we can like do it like partial day, like for 2 days, 3 days event.
Street
That will bring-
closures, yeah, street closures are hard, especially
will-
on a
but
street
that
like
will-
Devon.
Yeah, but that will bring a lot of revenue on Devon. Just one event. Like if we can have that kind of event once in a year, it will be really beneficial for all the businesses.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there as to, you know, that this could be a really good thing to do, and it's a thing that we should do. I think the reason that we haven't yet is because we were trying to get the Tuk Tuk project done first. I think we're
Yeah.
closing in on that. So once that train has left the station, I think, yeah, let's absolutely get started on planning the samosa stroll and or kebab crawl,
And they're more successful if you combine. So you have
Yes.
Samosa stroll with.
whatever Indo-American Center is doing or something. Or if West Ridge Chamber is doing Dance Dine Devon, who knows?
Right.
We did a Clark Street taco crawl once, and we used the parking lot at Island Bank, and we had music and some vendors and that kind of stuff, so
Yes.
that people can walk past it and stuff.
Right.
And, you know, for the samosa stroll. That we did. And maybe like Mandela Arts could do the
Mhm.
provide the music, and cultural
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So are we just spitballing here?
Yeah, I mean, and Urshad, I think, made a good point before. We could start sort of a list to brainstorm some of these event ideas. And I'm happy to start that and send it around. Obviously, like we've talked about, food tour, food crawl, pop-up, like kids playground type events, outdoor movies, and
Sports tournament.
sports tournaments.
Did they do a pierogi toss?
They did. I missed it because I was out of town, but they apparently was a hit. So
Samosa toss?
maybe.
And that's slippery. Pierogies are slippery.
Get some slippery Indian food.
All right. I will get started on a list that'll at least have those handful of things on there. Sports, food, I think sort of chief among them. And then, we can sort of continue to build on that. I can put that as an agenda item on next meeting.
Perfect.
Did anybody go to parades this weekend or last?
I did.
Yeah, how was the turnout?
It was packed.
Yeah,
Yesterday one with the Pakistani parade, it was packed.
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a better job promoting those than I think we did, and part of that was just because I had them in my calendar, but even though I was like looking around and asking around, like I couldn't find like an event page or Facebook event or anything that we could like link to or promote. If anyone has connections with like the organizers of these things, I'd love to get connected with them so that we can really do a better job of promoting that stuff for next year.
They have nothing. They have no social media. They have no website. They have nothing.
So how do you know when they're happening?
I think Alderwoman Silverstein told me the Pakistani parade is this day, and
Yeah.
the
I
India
was-
parade is the other day.
The way I knew it because I printed those posters. So I
Okay.
remember. Other than that, if I couldn't have printed the poster, I wouldn't have known that they had the parade. And also they circulated the poster on WhatsApp group.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the marketing they did.
WhatsApp group?
Like it's like word to mouth. They send it to one person. He knows several people. He sent it to those, and that's how I got the. Like if we talk to them, yeah, we can definitely make it much better in a proper way.
Yeah.
And maybe what we need to do is we need to let the businesses know that they should have a special that weekend or
Oh yeah,
like, something,
Or at least prepare for
something.
like their street to be blocked.
Right.
yeah. And also like some of the suburbs, they actually organize like a whole big event for the Independence Day. Like they actually have a food festivals over there. They call the people from both countries for the singing, and it's like a whole event. Like yesterday, they had that in Glendale Heights somewhere.
Mm.
That's a great idea. You already have a bunch of people showing up here. Just piggyback on that event.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can like
Especially with this
merge.
year being the 75th anniversary.
That would be awesome. Yeah, but we missed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We can come.
I will give props to our social media team, because since we didn't have anything in the content calendar because there's no web presence for the organizers of these things. I
Yeah.
just asked her if she could put together some social media content on the fly for India Independence, Pakistan Independence, and the parades, and they were super quick about it. So we did have social media up for both of those
Yeah.
days, but it's something that it's a huge opportunity that I don't think we've been able to fully capitalize on in the past. But
We can actually combine both the parties, like Indian Independence Day and Pakistani Independence Day, and we can combine both the crowds. And if we
Yeah.
can arrange one event, that big event gonna bring a lot of people to one.
Yeah.
And we have like a huge park on Western, Warren Park is huge. We can easily have like a mega event over there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's sort of all I had. We'll continue the discussion on events at the September meeting. I think it'll be a good meeting for that because we're going to be coming back around on the programming sponsorship request for Mandala Arts. And then also, you know, hopefully we'll be, you know, wrapping up, you know, the deployment of the tuk-tuk exhibit. So that'll put us in a good position to, you know, really start trying to put something on the calendar for this fall to get people out.
Sounds good.
All right. That's everything I had on this agenda. So thank you all for being here. If somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn, we can do that.
I do that.
Thanks.
Okay.
Second.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. We are adjourned. We'll
Bye-bye.
see you next month.
Bye.
Up to, bye.
Una de acuerdo.